DJI Air 3S replacement status. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by Mr. Ron Braun. We spent the better part of the evening discussing placement status, taking a detailed look at the timeline, emails, and so much more. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. Got a lot to talk about with this, okay?
And Bill, at one point, I want to read a couple comments from last night's Tundra Nation where you made a cameo appearance there. Some people had some suggestions. I mean, it won't help you now because you've sent your drone back, but maybe if you get another one, these comments may be able to help you, or maybe able to help somebody else who watches the show. So
we'll definitely look at those here. When the first thing what I did was I prepared kind of like I'll call it a PowerPoint presentation here, and want to kind of go over this. Now, I know one of the things we talked about last night was the codec, and one of the things that I did last night after my guest appearance on Drone Nation was I did a deep dive on my laptop on this, and I found out that my PC is set to update them when Windows updates, and it's automatic, it's seamless. So the codecs are all up to date on the computer. And then just another side note to that as well, too. If there was a codec issue, it would have come popping up. I would have gotten a notification. The first thing that you get whenever I've had codec issues before is you can't play videos. It won't let you, it refuses to play that video. And I have had no issues with that. Now, the other thing that I did here was I shot a video with the Mavic 3 Pro right after the hurricane because I wanted to do an inspection of the roof. I wanted to go out and around the community here. And I looked at it, and I looked at I had 3 segments of it that I shot, probably about 10, 15 minutes in total, buttery smooth. There wasn't no moire effect. When I would turn the drone, there was no stutter there, no lag. I watched it raw just as it was off the camera, because I haven't done a video on that yet. I was getting ready to put a video together, and then the other hurricane came. But it was fine. I had no issues with that whatsoever. It was just, it was perfect. So, that tells me that it's not my computer, and it tells me it's not YouTube. It tells me, it's not, my DaVinci Resolve. It's something inherent with the drone, with some other things, but we'll get to that here in a minute. Now, this was the first of a series of emails that I exchanged with DJI, and I want to go over these with you because I think this is important because I want to set up this timeline here. Now, this is on November the 12th, all right? And greetings from DJI Technical Support. Hope this email finds you well. Okay, in order to facilitate a resolution to your issue, we kindly request you provide the following: video of the operation, okay? Firmware version of the aircraft and remote controller, app version, and app logs. Once we have this information, we'll be able to conduct a more thorough diagnosis of the issue and provide you with the necessary support. We look forward to your prompt response. And it just goes on and on. Thank you for choosing DJI, and have a pleasant day. Okay. Now, I did that. Now, again, these weren't the log files from the drone. These were the log files from the controller. All right. I followed their directions specifically. I set it into a zip file. I sent them a link to my video. I got them everything. Okay. Now, this was on the 12th. Okay. Which
was a week ago.
It was last Tuesday. All right. A week ago. So and we're going to move on to the next email here. And this was on, I want to see the date here, November 13th, next day. Greetings from DJI. Hope you're well. Thank you for replying back and sending the required information. We're sorry once again, you're having your issue with your DJI 3S. Please be informed we've already escalated this matter to the relevant team, and we're waiting for feedback from them. We've expedited your request. Please allow us 2 to 3 business days, and we will get back to you accordingly, okay? As for your request to send the Air 3 in for replacement, please allow us to have this matter checked with our technical team first. Once we have an update from them, And if the update requires you to send the drone back to our repair center, we will revert back to you and create a replacement case for you. We hope this information is helpful. Now, this was on the next day, okay? Now, I get this email. This email was on November the 16th, 4 days later, 96 hours later, all right? Greetings from DJI. We hope you are well. This is a follow-up email regarding the video stuttering issues with your DJI Air 3S. We're sorry for the inconvenience and delay as we are still having this matter checked with our relevant team. Please be informed that we require the flight controller log. The logs you've sent previously is the app log, which are different. The flight controller log needs to be exported from the DJI Assistant 2 software, and the files end in .dat and exporting flight log. Now, there is, and just for those of you that aren't familiar with that, there's a DJI Assistant 2 for consumer drones. That's the what you want to use, because if you download the other ones and you go to hook up your drone, you're not going to see it there. It's not going to appear because it's the wrong DJI Assistant 2. So just as an FYI. So I went ahead, I followed all their procedures. I downloaded all the log files on the drone from all the flights, and I sent that to them. All right.
Hey, Bill, can I stop you just for a second? There's a couple questions in chat I want to take care of before we get too far going. Drone Shot says, I don't know what Bill uses for video editing. It's DaVinci Resolve, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. And Intel Maxwell Rotor says, when you played your Mavic 3 Pro video, was it set to H.264 or H.265?
Whatever it was on the drone. I don't see, and this is another thing, and I want to thank you guys for all your comments and suggestions. I do not go in and touch that. Okay. Whatever it is natively on the drone itself, I don't switch that. I don't switch between the two. All right. And this is one of my, and I'm going to stop here. We'll go to this email in a second, but I want to stop at this point here. All right. You know, I want to thank everybody again for your thoughts and suggestions, and I've gotten dozens of them, which is fantastic. But one of my points is this, and this comes from my testing background and my background in IT and my experience here. All right. I've been flying drones for 7 years. All right. I have literally hundreds of videos on you. I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube. All right. And many of them are flight videos. All right. I have never had to gone through any of these, you know, what you're telling me, you know, whether it's codec or H.264, 265, video editing, whatever. I haven't had to do any of this. All right. I've never had video stuttering before. And I'm talking all the way from the Spark to the original Mavic Pro, Mavic Pro 2, you know, all the mini drones I've had, everything. It's not been an issue. So I shouldn't have to jump through hoops to get this to work. It should be a natural occurrence. All right. So, you know, and like I said, I appreciate all your suggestions out there, but understand it's not like I'm, you know, this is my first year of flying a drone. Okay. I've been around the block a couple of times in this, you know, and I understand making an adjustment here or there, but I shouldn't have to go through all this. This should not be something that I should have to do before I fly that to eliminate stutter. Out of the box, it should work. If I set it to 4K 30 and take off, get a comparable SD card in there, I should be good to go. Okay, I shouldn't have to do things. So just to move forward here.
And I'm going to clarify this too, because this kind of relates to it. Last night, I gave some bad information on the Drone Nation show. We said that the Air 3S only records in H.265, and Van Drone Shots, Vamp, how he says his screen name, he let us know that is not only H.264. He said if you film in 2.7K at 30 frames per second, then you have an H.264 option, which I never knew because I never took it out of 4K, but you can shoot in H.264. So if you get another drone, you have problems again, you may want to try that. Shoot it in 2.7 so you can shoot in H.264 and see if you still have, and not only you, if anybody else is watching the show live or later on, if you're having the same issues Bill had, try that 2.7 in the H.264 codec. If people are right about the H.265 being at the root of this problem.
Thank you, Ron.
So,
okay.
just a little correction there. And here's another little thing too. I'll read it before we forget about it. He addresses you, Bill, in his comment. He said the bit rate appears to be faster using the Air 3S internal memory, 84.9 megabytes versus 73 megabytes on a SanDisk, extreme card or whatever. So he thinks you get this is RP guy 4 thinks you get a better bit rate. I guess he's looked at it in his computer with the internal memory.
Right.
So
okay. I'm gonna go.
Okay, sorry to get us off track.
No.
Thank you. I want to address these comments before we got too far down the road.
Okay. Now this was from yesterday at 8:14 a.m. This is from DJI. Greetings from DJI. I hope you're well. Thank you for responding back, and we truly apologize for the inconvenience on the matter. We also apologize in delaying getting back to you at a moment. Our team are still looking into the matter, and we're still waiting for feedback from our technical experts. We understand your request for an update as soon as possible. However, we request a bit more of your time and patience, and we will notify you as soon as possible. Please allow us another 1 to 2 business days, and we will provide you with a prompt response in the situation with your DJI Air 3S. As for your request to get a shipping label to send your Air 3S to our repair facility, we will coordinate accordingly, and after we receive feedback from our technical experts, we seek your kind understanding and patience on this matter. You're an asset to DJI, all that fluff. Once you decide on the accessory you would like to purchase, I would like to offer you a special $50 coupon, all right, which you can use to purchase accessories. Once you've decided an accessory, I hope this information is helpful. Once again, we truly apologize for this. Now this was November the 18th, all right? I want to go over something here that's really important. This past Saturday, November the 16th, I had called DJI customer service, all right, because, this emails back and forth. It's just, I'm like, okay, I need to talk to somebody. So when I called them up, she took down all my information. She said, I will call you back. And it just so happens she's calling us back as our name got called for a table for going out to eat on Saturday night. But what she did tell me is a label has been prepared. It was going to be emailed to me, and she was going to follow up with an email with a case number. Well, I got the labels. Now, this was on Saturday here. I got the labels. And look at this email set. This email said that they're going to work on getting me a label. All right. This is the kind of communication DJI customer service has. No, they are just they are not in sync here. Not in sync at all. Okay. So let's this is my response to DJI. Attached is a screenshot of the return label DJI had already sent me on 11/16/2024. The tracking number is, this was communicated to me by phone late Saturday afternoon, 11/16. Do you not communicate with one another? Your delays and miscommunication is something that is completely unacceptable. I sent you all the information you asked for on November 12th and was told I would hear back in 24 to 48 hours. I heard back on November 16th, 96 hours later, and you asked me to provide most of the same information plus flight controller logs, which I did on November 16th, 2024. Nothing was mentioned about the information I sent on the 12th. Some things are clear. Was told by a rep on the phone they would email me the current case number. Never received that email. You do not communicate with each other and with other departments. You create multiple case numbers almost every time I contact you about the same issue. No one has given me a straight answer. You keep asking me for information, yet provide no answers. Your response time to customers is abysmal. You ask customers to be patient. I have been waiting for a DJI Air 3S that works properly since October 29th when I first started this process. It's now November 17th, and I've sent you multiple times all the information you requested, sent off my second DJI Air 3S back, and yet here I sit without a DJI Air 3S, having already made a payment on it. You compensate me for my troubles with a $15 SD card and then supposedly with a $100 DJI store credit. In light of the circumstances, that is a joke, okay? And it is. It's a total joke. So have some recommendations. And this is And DJI, if you're watching, I would really like for you to take note of this. All right. You need to completely overhaul your customer support. It is atrocious. You know, I'm talking to one person. Oh, we need to get you to the relevant team. And then I talk to that. And then I'll talk to another person in another day. And I have to explain my situation all over again. I mean, you should have, they should all have case history in front of them. All right. You need to focus on the customer. All right. I matter as much as Ron or Marcus or any of you out there when you're calling in. Your focus isn't on, focus on the customer and their needs. Understand something. Let's say I'm using this for in a business setting for part 107, and I don't have this. I'm out this income because I don't have this drone. So let's focus on the customer and get his needs addressed. The next thing, give customers accurate information. You know, you had my drone for 96 hours, and then you decide, well, we need the flight logs now. All right. Well, you probably knew that 4 days earlier. So why didn't you send me an email 4 days earlier saying, you know what, Mr. Customer, we need those flight logs. All right. And then don't make empty promises. Don't tell me I'm going to hear from you in 24 to 48 hours when there's nothing. I have to be proactive and call or email you. All right. And as I said, work with the same rep through the process. You know, I've talked to probably, I'm going to say at least 6, 7, 8, 9 different people regarding this by phone and by email. That's ridiculous. All right. If I'm talking to one person, they know the case, they're familiar with it. I don't have to go into a spiel every time I get on the phone with you guys. And in fact, I probably have spent, I'm going to say, a good 4+ hours on the phone with you guys regarding this. All right. And communicate better internally. All right. You know, Saturday is a case in point. You know, I received a label already to send the Air 3S pack, which I did on Sunday, but yet you're telling me in another email, we'll discuss it and get with the team and let you know when you've already sent me that. All right. And these are my final recommendations here. Until DJI customer support is overhauled, purchase DJI products through Amazon, Best Buy, B&H Photo, Adorama. Don't purchase them directly from DJI. Their customer service is non-existent. It really is, truly is non-existent. I didn't know how bad it was until I had to go through this experience. It's just an absolute total joke. And DJI, you need to take this to heart. All right. You need to understand something. All right. We are important to you to survive as a business. You need us. You need a lot of support right now with everything that's going on. And right now, I'm not feeling very supported. And then you throw things at me like a $15 SD card, $100 store credit, when yet I don't have, here's my drone right now. I don't have it. Okay. And I've made a payment on it. And you guys just keep stalling.
And Bill, one thing you left out tonight is you first contacted them when you were in your 15-day window to return for any reason.
Yes, that's a good point, Ron. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're not doing care refresh or anything like that. You had every right to return it for any reason you wanted to, because you did that in the first 15 days.
Exactly. Ron
No
brought
questions asked, but there were questions asked.
Ron brings up a great point here. Now, one of the things that if you have to work with DJI customer service, take detailed notes. Okay. I don't know why it did that. All right. I'm going to get back to that screen here.
But while you're fixing the screen here, I just do want to mention that, customer service is all about who usually who you talk to at a place. Last time I had a DJI issue with my Mini 2 or something like that, it went flawless. I was using a care refresh, and I was actually paying them money, but the service went, couldn't have gone any better, so it all depends on what day, what week, who you're talking to at almost any company.
Absolutely here. And Ron makes a great point here. Now, if you have to work with their customer service, you need to be very, very meticulous. Have a notepad and a pen in front of you. All right. Take detailed notes when you're talking to them on the phone. All right. Take screenshots of items, noting the date, time, the name of the representative, and what the status is. And ask them for an email summary, because more often than not, I've gotten an email summary from them. It was great talking with you on the phone. This is what we discussed. All right. And then get from them when they're going to contact you again and how they're going to contact you, whether they're going to email you, whether they're going to call you. Find that out. Get specific with them, because you spent, I've spent $1,500 with them here. I want to get some service. All right. And this is just, Ron, I have to say this. I've never been so frustrated about the lack of customer service and the
Well, Bill, let me remind you, Amazon jumped you through a lot of hoops this summer on the Mavic 3 Pro. You got pretty frustrated during that experience.
Yeah, I did. I agree. You're right, Ron.
And I'm going to say they jumped you through. Well, you're not done here yet with DJI, but so at this point, Amazon jumped you through more hopes than DJI has at this point.
That's true. That is very true. That was I spent at least 8 to 10 hours on the phone with them about that, because it was something that was pressing, and I thought,
and that drug got over, same thing, over a 2 weeks period, right before you put that to bed.
Yeah, it took about 2 weeks to get this taken care of. Now, this is started on October the 29th, and we're now, on what, on the 19th here. All right, so 20 plus 3, like 23, 21 days. We're into this here, and I've really, I get some things, and and I took what Marcus told me last week to heart about returning this and getting another drone. Well,
and that would be the advantage if you purchase from a Best Buy or kind of Amazon. You would just send it back and get your money back and rebuy someplace else, or even from them again. But you wouldn't even worry about doing return exchange. You would just send it back, get all your money back, and then buy another one, whatever, next week or whatever, some other point.
Well,
you wouldn't be going through this. Before you that in, Jim Anderson he made a chat, and he said, "Wasn't the screen in your Pocket 3?" And he's right. Just this spring, I think it happened in the April-May timeline that my screen wouldn't stay magnetically flipped up in the Pocket 3, and I had a pretty seamless return with DJI. Now, I did get the same thing Bill had. It arrived to that service center, I think, in Fort Worth, and it didn't get checked in for 2 or 3 days. Had the same thing happen to me with the Pocket 3, Bill. Even though it got there, it was a couple days before it was, quote, checked in, whatever that means.
Well, what I'm going to do tomorrow, now, I will unfortunately, right now, Amazon still doesn't have it available. I checked today. Best Buy still doesn't have it available. Adorama does. And what I'm going to do is MHM Photography. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to give DJI a call, and I'm going to end this. I'm going to say, look, I'm returning the drone. Let's start the return process. Credit my account. Let's square it up.
It should be an easy return process since they already have the drone.
Exactly. There shouldn't be. Yeah, there should be no problem with that. So I am going to go ahead and do that. What I was hoping for, and one of the things here, and I understand, MHM, I understand what you're saying here. I wanted to try to get a resolution to this. Why this was happening here, because and again, I appreciate all your advice. About bit rates, H.264, H.265 codecs, the whole 9 yards. Thank you all so much for everything. I really appreciate that. Okay. But for me, all right, I needed to know in a concrete fashion, because, that's part of my job. I'm a quality assurance tester, and I have to get at the root of things, of why something doesn't work, because I have to let that team know, you need to fix this up. This is what you need to do to fix this. All right. So I was hopeful of getting some kind of solution from DJI on this. Well, obviously, they don't have a solution. They don't know, because of everything that I've sent to them and the time that it's taken to get a response from them. And one department can't communicate with another department there. And I'm at the point, and I agree with you, I'm just going to give them a call tomorrow morning. I'm going to say, look, We're going to cut my losses. I'm returning this. I'm done. All right, give me credit for it. Send me an email to confirm this. Once it's confirmed, I'm probably going to go out to Adorama and go ahead and buy it there. All right, because I have an account with Adorama and get it there. 2-day shipping. It's over. They have it in stock. So,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Richard, of course, Richard's in the chat tonight. He had the same issue you did, the stuttering video, and he sent his drone back. Just what you want to do. He just sent it back and got his money back. He didn't even do a return. But now he's discovered he's kept that video, and he's uploaded that video directly to YouTube, and the stutter is gone for him. And also, it plays fine on his Mac Mini. The stuttering issues occurred when he was putting on a Windows-based computer. But anyhow, he's finally ordered another one. I think it's a few days away. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with his second one, Bill. Whether he sees stuttering again on the Windows computer, or he doesn't see it at all, or what his testing will bear this time around.
Well, and Johnny, up until this point, I've had I agree with you. Up until this with support, I have had great support from DJI. Okay. Wow. Yeah, Richard, you may be right. I don't know. I'm gonna check that out. I don't know.
Yeah, if they want to send it back to you at their dime, that's something off you. But why would they want to spend their extra money shipping it back to have you request a label and send it back again? I mean,
yeah, that wouldn't, because it would go back to the same place anyway.
Fort
when you're
Worth.
returning it, it's the Fort Worth address, because I've done that before. I've sent things back to DJI, and it's the Fort Worth address is where it goes. So it's at the right place. So, but I'm walking through uncharted waters. I don't know. I'm going to give them a call tomorrow on that, because I've considered that today. And if I can do this tomorrow, I'm just going to cut the losses, cut the ties, and then go ahead and go out to Adorama and get it from them, and start clean from that. Now, I do understand one thing though, is that my DJI Care refresh, that's a loss. That's a wash. Okay. But as they said they're giving me $100 DJI store credit. So, I'll have something in return for that. I mean, I hate to say that, but, and I would really prefer to buy it through either Amazon or Best Buy, especially Best Buy, because I'm a Total Tech member with them, and I have extended protection with them and extended return time with that. And that would be real nice. Last I checked today, they still didn't have it in stock.
It's been over about a month now, so every day it passes, and I get the feeling that it's not coming there.
You might be right, Ron. Because I think they've had issues. DJI hasn't been real happy with them, because they let some drones get sold before the release date, and I think there's some kind of they're kind of button heads as far as that's concerned.
Button heads with Amazon, and you're not really going to win, because they're basically the biggest store in the world. So
yeah, you're dealing with the biggest
Amazon
retailer in the world. But the one thing with Amazon, okay, you have the option to purchase I think Square Trade, I don't know what it is, or Assurion for protection, and Assurion works very well. If there's a catastrophic issue with a drone, you just file it with Assurion, and it costs less than DJI Care Refresh. So you have that option as well to do something like that. Plus, as you guys know, I have State Farm, my policies on all my drones, and I'm covered in case of a catastrophic failure. I can get a replacement for it. I'm not real concerned about that. My concern is I just want to. I'm at the point. Let's end this. Let's cut it. Let's cut my losses. I'm not going to get an answer from DJI, and I need to accept that. And I need to go ahead and move on and just chalk it up. Whether it was a bad chipset, there was a bad setting in the drone, something was off, something was wrong, something in particular to those two drones that I got were not right. And because, like I said, I played a video from my Mavic 3 Pro today, and it was fine. I didn't do a thing to it. Just brought it up. It was right off the SD card. Brought it up, let the whole thing play, and it was buttery smooth. There wasn't an ounce of stutter with that. So that tells me that it's inherent to the drones that I got. And it's like go figure. You know, I get one, I can, okay, that's fine. To get a second one like that, wow. I mean, what are the odds? You know, I better go out and play the lotto if I'm getting those kind of odds right there. So,
Hey, Bill, you brought up Amazon Best Buy just a few minutes ago. I want to jump back there to what we talked about earlier in the show. When the mic Mini drops next Tuesday, the 26th, will that mic be available to order from Amazon and Best Buy that day, or will that be a DJI store exclusive?
I think they're going to have it, Ron, and I think you know it's not a
drone.
drone, and I think
And it's some history that on that, Bill. When the Action 5 Pro came out in September, I ordered it on Amazon the day it came out, and I got it the next day. So you know that was available at U.S. resellers, the Action 5 Pro. So
John,
we'll know if something's changed if the mic Mini is not available from anybody but DJI Direct.
John, I want to answer your question for you. I did share it with Ron and Marcus did a video, and he didn't get any lag on his video. So
yeah, I didn't see any lag, and I watched it on two different devices, one being my TV set, and I didn't see any lag. I mean, I saw the on the rooftops and so on like that, but I mean, I did not see any lag.
So, you know, thank you, John, for that. But that's that. And the other reason I didn't do that is, you know, I'm going to get dozens of different suggestions and ideas and things, which I do appreciate. But, you know, at this point in time, I'm cutting my losses here. I'm just going to kick it back to DJI, let them deal with it, let them handle it, and just going to write this off as a lesson learned with them. You know, when it gets to this point, again, I'm not going to let it get to this point again. What I'm going to do is if I have an issue like that again, I'm just going to return it and I'm going to buy it. You know, well, first of all, I'm going to buy it either from Amazon or Best Buy instead of DJI directly, because I don't want to have to go through and deal with them. This is just
Richard has a comment, along your lines, Bill. He says, my Air 3 and Mavic 3 had no stutter on H.265 on his Windows machine, but the Air 3 does have stutter on his Windows machine.
Go figure.
So, you know, it looks like more like something about the Air 3, something the way it codes the video or something like that is different from previous drones. And it sounds like, you know, it doesn't affect every computer, but it affects some.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know, instead of me coming up with this, you know, potluck theory here, DJI should be coming up with this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
that they've done something to the way this video records. That
I think it's baffled them on
every Windows computer. I don't think anybody's, you know, anybody I know that's had the stuttering issue, nobody's had it on a Mac.
Right. And, you know, and everybody's saying I try a Mac. Well, that would be wonderful. But, you know, I have two laptops and they're both PCs. They're not Macs.
Right,
so,
right.
I mean, that's just not an option for me right now. I appreciate that, but that's not an option for me. You know, at this point, I'm just going to cut my losses here and just, you know, chalk this up as a learning experience. But one of the takeaways that I wanted to get to everybody here is until DJI, I mean, I thought DJI's customer service had been great up until this point in time. They've been responsive to me, but then this issue, I think that personally, I think they're baffled. I think their technical support team doesn't know what's wrong. I think they're grasping for straws at this point. They probably either can't duplicate the issue or they can, and they don't they've looked at logs and they can't find it and they don't know what's going on. You know, whether it's bitrate, H.265, H.264, you know, something wrong with the gimbal. Who knows? Okay.
Do you think eventually when they do figure out this could all be fixed with a firmware update?
It's possible.
You know how we don't like those firmware updates to say bug fixes.
Yeah.
This maybe could be taken care of with one of those mysterious bug fix updates.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe the thing is you just sit back and wait until a couple more rounds of firmware update. I mean, you don't have the drone now, but when you get it, before you get it again, wait until a few more rounds of bug fix updates come out. And man,
I
I bet you
agree.
this is one of those issues. DJI will never admit there was a problem here. They'll never say in the notes it fixes stuttering issue. This will just come under the headline of bug fixes.
Bug fixes on a firmware update. Yeah, it'll be that, it'll be that, people talk about for years, about, theories about JFK's assassination, and it's one of those kind of things that
Yeah.
it, known but to God kind of thing. And I think this is where this is going to fit. This is going to go into a black hole, and we're not going to find out about it.
It'll just work someday. Hey, we
All
got Ryan from we got a big YouTuber Ryan from RD Drones in here, and he's asking. He said upload it to YouTube and see if it plays back okay. I bet it will. Well, Richard tried that with his stuttering footage, and it did play okay for Richard.
Yeah,
Bill
and
doesn't have you have the footage though. You don't have the drone, but
I did do that. I did upload it directly to YouTube on my own, the raw file, and it was still there. Yeah, so that's why, yeah,
I mean, everybody thinks it's a codec issue, but what we need is DJI to admit it's a codec issue.
right. Yeah, I agree, Ron, and that's why I think that's kind of why I've held on for so long, because I wanted to get to the bottom of this. I wanted to find out what the root cause of this was, and this is just one of these things. I think, like you said, it's going to be buried in a firmware update that said fix some known issues or fix some bugs. You won't ever see them expound upon this. You won't say fix video stutter issue that blah 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 blah. You won't see that. It's just going to fix some known bugs, fix some issues.
Yeah, I mean, when you said you didn't get cooperation, even if somebody at DJI would have said, "Hey, Bill, would you put it in 2.7 and try it in H.264?" Nobody even worked with you for some workarounds.
Yeah.
Like lots of times, good tech help will give you some workarounds on the phone to try before you send a product back.
And for RDs, earlier in the show, I went in and I investigated as far as codecs were concerned. My machine updates the codec every time there's a Windows update. It goes out there and automatically updates the codec, so there's no issue with the codec. I did some research on that, so that's a good thing. So
Joe Noki's asking if you're playing the YouTube on a Windows machine. Bill only has Windows. So
I only have a Windows machine.
YouTube on on a Windows machine.
Well,
you don't have an iPad around, do you?
No, but one of the things that I did do is I played it on both of my phones. I have two phones, my Samsung Galaxy phones, and I did see the stutter on there. So
okay.
It's legit. It's not, and that's another thing that I was going to put in the notes and I got to mention it. But, I did watch it on my phone. I did see the stutter on that. So it's really, I can safely eliminate it being a Windows issue. Okay. It's bit rate. I don't know. I'm just grasping for straws right here. And that's why I was hoping by this time, I was really hoping by this point in time, DJI was going to say, we've discovered it. It's this, we're going to work on a solution for it. In the meantime, we'll send you a new drone, that kind of thing. That hasn't happened yet. So I'm going to give them a call tomorrow, cross my fingers, and see about just cutting my losses, returning it, and then going out and buying a new one on my own.
Sounds good.
Question of the day. What did you think of DJI Air 3S replacement status? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.